Are you all sitting comfortably? Are you ready for today's English lesson? Well, that's good to know. Hello everyone, welcome to English Like a Native. Today we are learning some more important slang words beginning with the letter R. My name is Anna English and oh look, I've got another little light box. Unfortunately, when I turn the light on that one, you can't see the writing, but never mind. Hello, I'm really glad to be here with you again and teaching you some more very important slang words. Why are slang words important? Well, because we as natives use them all the time, and when we're talking to non-natives, we confuse the heck out of them. So yes, it's important that we know these words. It's important that we know when they're appropriate to use and when they are absolutely not appropriate to use. But slang is a part of our everyday life. We have been covering all letters of the alphabet. We started at A and today we are at R. Hang on a minute. But Anna, yesterday you did letter P. So that should mean that Q comes next. I decided to skip Q, and I will come back to it at the end when I can join it with another letter that doesn't have that many examples. So I will come back to Q at the end. It is queuing, but today we are covering the letter R, and I have made a lot of notes for you, as always, and anyone who is generous enough to support this community with a super chat will receive these notes as a thank you. So let's get straight on into it. If you have any questions as I go through, then try to hold them until the end. Patrons, of course, I have your Skype room open, so if you have any questions, then ask in here for it to be answered. Otherwise, let's get started. So, British slang beginning with R. To rabbit on. If somebody is rabbiting or they're rabbiting on, then they are talking a lot and they're talking for a very long time. So you could say that Anna every day in her live lessons rabbits on. She talks too much. She talks for too long. Her lessons are too long. And so the example sentence I've given here is, Jennifer kept rabbiting on about her time at summer camp and boring us all to tears. So just remember that we tend to use the word on when we're talking about rabbiting. To rabbit on. Okie dokie. The next one is the word racket. Now, a racket normally is like a bat that you use to play tennis or squash or racquetball or, you use a paddle, don't you, for table tennis? Anyway, a tennis racket, but in a slang context, racket can mean a loud noise. So if I'm making a lot of noise, then you could say I am making a racket. Okay, so the example sentence I've given here is, the boys were making a racket in the living room, so I had to ask them to quieten down. The boys were making a racket in the living room, so I had to ask them to quieten down. I would probably say quiet down. To ask them to quiet down. Okie dokie. So, racket and rabbit on. So if you're rabbiting on, you might be making a racket with your voice. And so the next one is the word rat. A rat. We all know a rat is a small little animal. Not terribly hygienic, I don't think, although I'm not an expert on rats. We have a lot of rats here in London. They do say that in London you are never more than 3 meters away from a rat because the sewers have lots of rats in them. And you do sometimes see rats running across the street. Ooh. Anyway, I'm sure people who keep pet rats, I'm sure those rats are lovely. So a rat, if you're talking about a person being a rat, you're calling a person a rat, you are calling them a horrible person. They're a horrible person. And so you might say, I never liked him. He's a rat. I never liked him. He's a rat. So if you're going to call someone a rat, just be careful. So rat, rabbit on, and racket. So you could say, that nasty rat was rabbiting on and making a terrible racket. 3 slang words. So the next one on the list is the word rattle. Rattle. Now a rattle can be a shake, if you rattle something, you shake it. A rattle is also a children's toy that makes a noise. They just shake it and it makes a little shaky noise. Shaky, shaky, shaky. You can also, you have a rattlesnake. They make that little rattle with the end of their tail. But when we're talking about rattling someone, then we mean to unsettle them. So if I feel rattled, or if someone has rattled me, they've upset me, or they've unsettled me, they've made me feel nervous. So the example sentence I've given here is, the near miss with the lorry had rattled her, and she spent the rest of the journey sat up straight with the windows down. So a near miss is a close call, or you might, how do I explain this? If you nearly have an accident, but you don't have an accident, but you nearly do, then that's a near miss. If I nearly hit another car, but I don't, it's a near miss. And if you have a near miss, then that will shock you and you go, oh, I nearly crashed. I nearly crashed the car. And that's what this sentence is all about. The near miss with the lorry had rattled her, and she spent the rest of the journey sat up straight with the windows down. So she probably was falling asleep at the wheel and nearly had a crash. Now, also, a lot of native English or native British people will say, who rattled your cage? So if someone seems upset, or if someone starts talking when they don't normally talk, someone is behaving in a way they wouldn't normally behave, you could say, who rattled your cage? It's the same as saying, what's up with you? Okay, so who rattled your cage? Try to remember that one. So the next one we have here is the word ratty. Ratty. Now, ratty can be used in two different ways. If I say that an item of clothing or an object is ratty, then I'm suggesting that it's worn out. It's like the same as tatty. So it's got maybe rips, or maybe the material starting to wear out. Maybe it's got a few holes in it. Maybe some of the material is pulled and it just looks old and overused. This isn't ratty, but if it was old, it would look ratty. So you could say something that's old and untidy looks ratty. You could say, my hair sometimes looks ratty if I haven't brushed it, perhaps. Or we can call a person ratty, meaning that they are irritable. So if I just seem a little bit grumpy, you could use the word ratty instead. So the example sentence I've given here uses both versions. I've said, that should be two ends. Dennis was very ratty when he was told that he would have to wear a ratty old suit to work. So Dennis was very irritated or very annoyed when he was told that he would have to wear an old, untidy suit to work. Okay? Lovely. So, the next one on the list is real. Now, we do this a lot. We use the word real, meaning very. It's definitely slang, so you only use this in informal situations with your friends. Never use this in written English, but instead of saying very, you could say real. And so the example sentence I've given here is, that was a real sweet thing to say, thank you. That was a real sweet thing to say, thank you. That was a very sweet thing to say. There we go. Fabulous. So let's see how many people are enjoying this lesson today. Oh, we have 109 of you. Hello. I hope that you are all well and happy and not feeling ratty today. And I'll also say a very quick hello to Jay, who's jumped into the Patreon Skype room. Hello, Jay. I hope you are well and enjoying the lesson. So I do have a very important announcement to make, but I will wait until the end of the lesson. So I want you to stick with me to the end and wait for my important announcement. And if you are feeling happy and not too ratty, then I would really appreciate you clicking on that share button and getting your friends in so your friends can enjoy this lesson, but also so they also hear this important announcement that I have at the end of the lesson. Oh, bless. So I've just seen a super chat come through from Jay. Thank you so much. He says, hi, Anna, it's Jay. Finally, I could send you a super chat. Bless you, Jay. That is so sweet. Thank you very, very much. If you don't know, super chats are little donations to the channel. All money that comes through from a super chat goes towards paying for things to improve this channel. So, for example, a microphone, the faster internet that I have so I can bring you these lessons. It also is eventually going towards better software for live lessons, and it also goes towards paying my editor so that my editor can make some amazing videos, more amazing lessons, faster and faster, more and more, better and better quality. So thank you, Jay. You're very sweet. Okay, don't forget, Jay, I'll send you the notes, so do give me a nudge. Okay, so let's carry on with the lesson. The next one on the list after real is the word rib. To rib someone is to tease them. Of course, normally a rib, if you don't know, is a bone. It's the bones around your lungs, in your chest. Those bones are your ribs. But if you rib someone, you're teasing them. Ooh, you fancy that girl? Ooh. Or, oh, who's upset? You're upset. Ooh. So it's just being a little bit playful, a bit teasing. And the example sentence I've given here is, we gave Tommy a ribbing when he finally arrived at the pub. So imagining that Tommy is late to the pub because he's been out on a long date with a girl. And so when he comes in, we're teasing him like, ooh, Tommy's in love. Like you do when you're very young. So we gave Tommy a ribbing when he finally arrived at the pub. Great. Now, this phrase is an important phrase to remember, and you should try and use it because us natives use it all the time. And it's the phrase, right up my street. That's right up my street. And it means it's what I like. So you can use anything. I would say here, those chocolate chip cookies are right up my street. Those chocolate chip cookies are right up my street. And in fact, I would generally say that chocolate is right up my street. And I want to know what's up your street. So what's right up your street? Is it tea? Is it steak? Is it sharing an hour with me learning English? Is English with Anna right up your street? So let me know in the comments down below, and yeah, try to remember that phrase. So the next one, and also a very important one to remember because it's regularly used, is the word ring. Now, of course, normally a ring is an item of jewellery that goes on your finger. But here it means to phone or to call someone. So if I call you, I could say I'm ringing you. Or I will ring you means I will call you. I will ring you later. I will call you later. All right, nice and easy. Ring me. So the next one is the phrase rip off. If you rip someone off, then it means that you have tricked them. I'm going to put tricked in there. To trick. Oh, it's a difficult one to explain in just a few words. So if you rip someone off, if something is a rip-off, I don't know how to put this. If something is a rip-off, then it's overpriced. So if an item is a rip-off, it's overpriced. But if you rip somebody off, it means that you have manipulated them into spending money for something that's not worth the money they've spent. So, for example, if you were to pay £5 for a can of Coke, you could say that can of Coke is a rip-off. But you could also say that the person who sold you the can of Coke for £5 ripped you off. That person ripped you off. And the can of Coke is a rip-off. Okay? So £5 for a can of Coke. What a rip-off. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Wafers are right up my street, says Alia. Great. I like a wafer. A good thin wafer can be nice with a bit of ice cream. Caleb says, seeing you every day. Right up my street. Thank you. Seeing you every day as well. It's nice to see the regulars in every day. Lots of familiar names jumping into the chat room right now. Okay, so I just have to quickly answer. Taha has asked, what is a super chat? A super chat is just a donation. You have to do it via YouTube. It's a little $ below the comments section, and then you can choose to donate. And in return, I send you today's notes. Okay, so the next one on the list, let's move on, is ripped. If you are ripped, then you are muscular. But it doesn't just mean like really muscly, it means toned. So somebody can be strong and look like they have muscles, but still have quite a bit of weight on them as well. You know the kind of person I mean? So they're not fat, but they're meaty. They're meaty and they're muscly. But some people are very muscly and very thin, very lean. So their muscles, kapow, 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 are like really defined. You call their tummy a washerboard, like the old-fashioned washboards that used to wash your clothes on, because they're so defined with the muscles. Someone like that is ripped. And so the example sentence I've given here is, I want to get ripped for my holiday next month. Is it possible? ? I want to get ripped for my holiday next month. Is it possible? So this is the verb that we use to get ripped, Or you could just say someone is ripped. I want to get ripped, and she or he is ripped. Okay, great. So, is anybody here watching ripped? Are you ripped? If so, what's the secret? Probably just exercise. More exercise. Okay. Rajesh has said, your WhatsApp Golden membership is a rip-off. Rajesh, you've never even been a Golden member. How can you say that? And in fact, I have some Gold members here live watching who will tell you absolutely not, that my Gold membership is super value for money. Eric, do you want to comment on this? So yes, if you want to be a Gold member, then you'd certainly get a lot for your money. So I am going to move on from that comment. You are incorrect. The next one is the word rock. Rock. And rock obviously can be a lump of earth, a hard lump of earth. You can also describe a big diamond as a rock. But most of the time, most natives will say, you rock or that rocks, and they mean it's awesome. So I'm going to say, you guys rock. Simply means you guys are awesome. Okay? So the next one is rock bottom. Completely opposite from rock. If something rocks, it's amazing. But if something is rock bottom, then it's completely the opposite. It's the lowest point. So you hit rock bottom. Normally talk about hitting rock bottom. And so we could talk about this in an emotional way or just generally in life. So here the example I've put is, she lost her job and her husband in the same week. She's basically hit rock bottom. She lost her job and her husband in the same week. She's basically hit rock bottom. Okay? So hopefully none of you have hit rock bottom. But just remember, if you do use the phrase rock bottom, then you generally will say hit. I've hit rock bottom. She's hit rock bottom. Last year we hit rock bottom with our relationship, but now it's back. It's back on track and everything's wonderful. Okay? Lovely. I hope I don't hit rock bottom. Yeah, that's right. I hope I don't hit rock bottom. So the next one on the list is the word rough. Rough. And rough means not good or unwell. So if I say I'm feeling rough, it doesn't mean that my skin is unsmooth. It means that I feel unwell. Usually I would say rough if I have drank too much alcohol the night before and I wake up the next day and I feel a little bit unwell because of my drinking. And so I would say, oh, I feel rough today. I feel rough today. Drinking is no longer up my street. I've definitely hit rock bottom. Okay, so the next one here is the word rubbish. You'll hear us use rubbish all the time. And rubbish basically means not good. Not good. So rubbish can also be trash. If you know American English, you'll know rubbish as trash. So I'll say put out the rubbish or put that in the rubbish bin. But if I say I feel rubbish today, it means I don't feel good today. Or my lesson was rubbish. I'm a rubbish teacher. I've made a rubbish cup of tea. This room is rubbish. It means it's not good. It's not good. So there you go. Rubbish and rough. Now here's a fun word or a fun phrase. Rumpy-pumpy. Rumpy-pumpy. Interestingly, you know autocorrect can sometimes create funny words and sentences. When I put this in, the autocorrect changed it to grumpy puppy. A grumpy puppy, which I thought was quite funny. So, rumpy-pumpy is basically another way of saying sex or sexual intercourse. And it's quite a silly little phrase, rumpy-pumpy. I imagine it being in a sitcom or someone who's a little bit maybe upper class, maybe a bit older would use this word, but rumpy-pumpy, maybe my grandma would use this phrase. They were having rumpy-pumpy, don't you know? So it's a little bit silly. And in the example sentence I've given, I've written, they disappeared into the bedroom to engage in a little rumpy-pumpy before supper. They disappeared into the bedroom to engage in a little rumpy-pumpy before supper. Okay, so the next one is the word run-in, the phrase run-in. If you have a run-in with someone, it's like having an argument with someone or some form of disagreement. And so you could say, my neighbour and I had a run-in last month. My neighbour and I had a run-in last month. Okay, nice and easy. The next one, hopefully none of you are suffering with this at the moment, the runs. To have the runs is to have diarrhea. So if you say to someone, I have the runs or I've got the runs, it means you have diarrhea. And you need to get to a pharmacy to get some special powder or tablets to sort yourself out to replace your body salts. And the example sentence I've given here is, my fella, which means my boyfriend, my fella had the runs after eating lobster. My fella had the runs after eating lobster. Okay? Okay, and that's the end of it. So let's remind ourselves to have the runs, hopefully not. To have a run-in, don't argue with me. A bit of rumpy-pumpy. Rubbish. Oh, I feel rough. I've hit rock bottom. You guys rock. I want to get ripped. That was a rip-off. Will you ring me later? Oh, you guys are right up my street. I'll give you a ribbing. That was real nice of you. Don't get ratty with me. I don't want to rattle you, but I've got some bad news. He's such a rat. Stop making such a racket. And you don't half rabbit on sometimes. Okie dokie. So there we go, guys. There are how many words on there? I'm probably about 15 new words or phrases to add to your vocabulary. I do hope that you found that helpful, everyone. And now is the time to add your questions or comments. If you have any questions specifically about what I've already covered, but if you have any other English-based questions, then ask away. I'll stay here for a few minutes. And as I promised before, I have an announcement to make. So, tomorrow I'm having a special little party and you are invited. Tomorrow I'm having a birthday party and my birthday party is going to start at 5:30, so about an hour So tomorrow, but an hour before, so 5:30 tomorrow, I'll be having a birthday party to celebrate my birthday. And I do hope that you will join me for my special birthday lesson. I'll be 21 again, of course. And yes, I'm going to stick with that. And so I would love you to come along and bring your friends, and let's have a lesson all about birthdays to celebrate my birthday. I do hope that you will come along and join me for that one, so that I'm not left on my own crying in the corner because no one turned up. Okay, so patrons all chatting. Oh, Eric says gold membership is rock. We don't say it like that. Thank you very much. And you are right. Gold membership does rock. And what you'd say is, though, gold membership rocks. So you take away the is and add s. Gold membership rocks. And that would be perfect. Okay. Okay. Lots of lovely messages coming through. All wishing me happy birthday. Not yet. Tomorrow. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, my birthday is actually tomorrow next week, but next week I'm away. I'm going away on Friday. I'm going to be away you won't see me for a week basically, but I will have lots of great videos coming out while I'm away. I've already started putting them in place, making them especially for you. So tomorrow we're celebrating together. We're having my birthday party tomorrow, all of us together, so that I can spend some of my birthday with you guys. Great. So, questions coming through. Jefferson has said, bored to tears, what does it mean? So you saw that earlier in the notes. If I say you are boring me to tears, it's just an exaggeration of saying something is boring. So if you're so bored that you're yawning, sometimes your eyes water, and maybe you even cry. I'm so bored. So to be bored to tears is to be extremely bored. Okay, hope that helps. What's coming through? What are slang words? What are slang words? Slang words are words that are more commonly used in speech and rarely seen written down. Sometimes they're words that are normal words, like the word rock, that we use in a different way. So we don't use rock to mean rock, unless we're talking about rocks. We generally use rock spoken to mean awesome. You guys rock. That rocks. That's amazing. Great. Guys, is anybody new here? If I have any newbies here, then let me know in the comments and I'll give you a shout out right now. So if you're new, just let me know and I'll give you a shout out. If you're a Libran, because I'm a Libra, someone's just brought it up in the comments. If you're a Libra like me, then also put it in the comments and I'll give you a shout out, because Libras rock. Yeah. If you are new here, by the way, then do make sure you have pressed the subscribe button and the bell notification button so you don't miss my future lessons, because there's some awesome lessons coming out next week which you're going to love, I hope. Yes, it's different. It's on the opposite side. Rock and suck are opposites. So if you rock, you're awesome. If you suck, you're rubbish. You rock, you suck. Okay. Is there any Libras here? Come on, tell me. Oh, yes. So Leah is a newbie. Amazing. Maten is a newbie. Hello. You guys are amazing. I'm so glad you're here. So, guys, make sure you press subscribe and don't miss out on future lessons. It's all free, don't you worry. And I've got Tran is also new. Awesome. I've got Mohammed is new. Amazing. Floyd says, I'm not new, but I love you. Thank you, Floyd. We have a few Libras here. Amazing. So Gaming Radian, you're always here. You're a Libra. Amazing. Who else? Someone's asking, what is a Libra? A Libra is the star sign of people who are born between September and October. So who is Isra is new here. Hello, Isra. Taha, new in here. Hello, Taha. Amazing is new. Amazing. Guys, I do hope you are pressing the subscribe button. Okay, last few questions. If anyone has a question, shoot it over right now and I will answer it before I wrap up and say goodbye. Okay, so if you are here, you've been here before, you know what to do. Before you leave, let's click that thumb button. Let's get those likes moving up and up and up. And I am going to have to wrap up if no one asks me a question. Abdallah is new. Hello, Abdallah. Jefferson is a Libra. Amazing. You rock. Balzar 76 is new and your lessons rock. Thank you, Balzar. You're amazing. Lots of you saying happy birthday for tomorrow. Thank you. Who else? Okay. Oh, you're asking me about a book. I haven't read that book, so I can't help you. I'm sorry. Kamal has said person or persons. Which one is correct as a noun? So a person is singular and persons would be plural, and it isn't bad to say persons, but no natives really say persons. This is something that comes up with one of my private students. So generally, if we're talking about more than one person, we talk about people. So one person, many people. It's not grammatically correct. It's not grammatically incorrect to say people, persons. That you can say that, but no natives use that word, so it feels weird to us. We always think it's a mistake because we never hear it. So I would recommend you say person, people. Okay. My children are always starting to cry because they know it's finishing. That's so funny, Everton. I don't want your children to cry. What is the difference between flesh and meat? Flesh describes what covers your bones. Meat describes also what covers your bones, but more so we talk about meat when we're talking about eating. You wouldn't talk about eating flesh, you talk about eating meat. So meat is something you eat. Flesh covers bone or has a fleshy consistency. Okay? Hope that helps. When is your actual birthday? My actual birthday is on the 27th. But as I said, I won't be here, but I still want to have a birthday party with you guys. What means sonnet in Shakespeare? So a Shakespeare sonnet is a poem. It has a particular form. It follows a particular poetic form. And you'll see that all sonnets are the same length and have the same feel because they're following the same form. So basically a sonnet is a poem written in the time of Shakespeare. What is the difference between fruit and fruits? One fruit, many fruits? But then you can use fruit to mean plural. I bought some fruit. I don't know is the answer. I don't know. Is it folk or folks to say people? We use both. We use both. So it's supposed to be folks. So if I'm addressing you as people, I would say, all right, folks. So I'd say it plurally. I'd say it with an S to mean all of you. All right, folks, I'm wrapping up now, folks. I've nearly finished now, folks. You can also folks sometimes refers to your parents. So if you're talking about, I need to go home and talk to the folks, I'm talking about my mum and dad, the old people in my house, folks. Some natives say folk, but I don't know if that's correct. Some local folk. I think it's probably just natives being lazy. Anna, you look very tired today. Oh no, I need more lights to take out the wrinkles. I am very tired. I am trying my best to make sure that you have lots of videos for the time when I'm away so you don't miss me too much and so you keep learning. And I'm also making my children's content for my children's channel, Bella and Beans TV. And I'm also making content for my other channels, and I'm also doing lots of teaching so that I can pay the bills, and I am trying to prepare and get ready for my holiday. So yes, I'm very busy and therefore I'm a little bit tired. I'll put more makeup on next time, try and disguise the fact that I'm tired. Do you know the Queen song, We Will Rock You? What does it mean, rock, in this context? Rock is also a type of music. So rock music is like Queen music is rock music, or I think Alice Cooper plays rock music. Guns N' Roses is rock music. So it's that loud electric guitar rock music. So when someone says we're going to rock you in like a rock song, it means they're going to, they're going to excite you with their music. They're going to make your body sway back and forth. You're going to dance. They're going to fill you with rock and roll with music. So we will rock you. Okay. Oh, interesting. So the word fruit, when it doesn't have an S, is general. Fruits with an S is when there are different kinds of fruits. Guesses are das. Thank you for that. That's quite interesting, actually. Yes, see, us natives don't know everything. We don't know everything. I'm telling my friends to subscribe to your channel. Awesome, Everton. You can definitely get 2 thumbs up from me. You're amazing. Thank you very much. Okay, what is the meaning of a broadcast program in your installation mon? I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. How to pronounce the word battery? Battery. 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 My battery is running low. Okay, I think I've rabbited on for far too long. You guys are awesome. I'm going to say goodbye now. But before I do, I'm just going to very quickly say goodbye to my lovely patrons. Eric asked me which kind of cake do I like. Well, I love chocolate red velvet, not chocolate red velvet, red velvet cake. Have you heard of red velvet cake? It's delicious. Absolutely delicious. But yeah, I think any kind of cake. I love cake. Okay, but Anna rock equals stone. Yes, a rock is a stone. If it's just, if it's in the right context, a rock is a stone. Talking about person and people, what about just 2 people? If it's anything more than 1 person, we would say people. 2 people. 1 person, 2 people. All right. Okay, guys, I am going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you will come to my birthday party tomorrow at 5:30. If you're feeling a little bit lonely when I leave, then make sure you have gone back and reviewed some of the older lessons, because only by reviewing do you take any of this information in long term. And I am going to ask you for one big favour tomorrow, one humongous favour. It's actually only a little favour, but something that's going to help you with your learning as well. But you'll have to join me tomorrow to find out what that is. Okay, so 5:30 tomorrow, my birthday. Make sure you're all dressed up in your nice birthday suit. Not your birthday suit. I'm joking. For those of you who don't know, a birthday suit is naked. If you're wearing a birthday suit, it's the suit you were born in, nothing. So I was just having a little joke. Please don't sit naked in front of the computer screen. Okay, don't wear your birthday suit. I won't wear my birthday suit. I'll wear something nice though. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow live at 5:30 for my birthday. Okay, lots of love from London. Take care.